Thing going?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Everything's going well. Just kind of at home, kind of working out and kind of just hanging out with friends and stuff. So it's been good.
That's good to hear. And overall, how's your off season going? And what are you working on regarding your game for next year?
Yeah, my off season's been going pretty well. I think I've put on about 5 pounds since I've been back from Omaha, which is good. We're kind of focusing more on strength and speed in the gym. So a lot of track and field, hurdles, and then obviously strength training, just trying to get stronger and put on some mass before I can go into college in September.
Yeah, is that something your trainer and yourself is trying to preach? Because obviously, college you're playing against a lot of older players and a lot more stronger players. So is that something that you knew before going into college? Is that's something you were trying to work on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, playing against older guys and grown men in college is something that's obviously going to be a challenge. But I've played against older guys for the past couple years, so I've kind of got used to playing against bigger guys. But just trying to put on weight and kind of help myself kind of jump and make that jump a bit quicker.
Yeah, definitely. Now, for college hockey fans that haven't seen you play before, describe your game to them, and what do you hope to bring to Clarkson next year?
Yeah, I think I'm a fast offensive left winger. I think the game and process the game at a high level, and I can move the puck and create space for my line mates as well. Obviously, that's kind of what I'm trying to bring into college next year. So hopefully we can hit the ball running in September.
Now, what was your recruitment process like? And just talk about why you chose to go to Clarkson versus other colleges.
Yeah, when I came out of the OHL draft, I didn't really have any colleges talk to me. Clarkson was the only one, so obviously they saw something in me that no one else did at the time. So it was a bit of loyalty on both ends, as well as obviously their top 10 program, coached very well, and obviously I have a buddy Noah Beck who's there as well, which is good. But yeah, those kind of factors, close to home as well. So those are kind of things that went into my decision with Clarkson.
Now, we were talking about earlier just about the physical adjustment that you're trying to make to college hockey since you're going against older players. But what do you think will be the biggest adjustment you're going to have to make when you play your first college hockey game?
Yeah, I think probably that. I think as well as the speed, I think it's a bit quicker than what I've played growing up, and also in the past couple years. But I think yeah, the speed, obviously the size, and also balancing school and hockey as well. Going back to school is will be a challenge, but yeah, those are the three things that are probably the most difficult and most things I kind of have to work on going in.
Now, how do you try to balance both academics and hockey at such a high level? Because being a college student myself, it's hard just to balance the academic part of it. But I feel like adding hockey on top of it, it just makes it more of a challenge to balance.
Yeah, obviously, everyone's probably knows it's student athlete first. So obviously, doing well in the classroom, kind of giving it your 100% effort every time you kind of go on the ice or in the classroom or wherever you are. But yeah, obviously it's gonna be tough. So hopefully I can learn some time management skills and help kind of balance those two things.
Now, thinking back to your last year in the USHL, what do you think you improved on the most that will be beneficial for yourself heading into college hockey next year?
I think my skating, I think my speed. I got faster over the off season last year. So I was able to make that jump from the OJ to the USHL this year, and obviously, hopefully, I can make that same jump from the USHL to college in September.
Now, with things starting to open back up at a slower pace, do you think that changes your approach for this offseason? Being able to go in the gym more often and to have less social distancing regulations?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough that I have some weights downstairs in my basement, so I was able to still kind of keep in shape when everything was closed. But yeah, obviously, it's great to kind of have everything start back up again and a bit more feel like a bit more normal nowadays. But yeah, I mean now you're working out with other people, so you're pushing yourself against them, and obviously they're helping you, and you're helping them get better in the weight room and in the gym as well. So yeah, I think it's good for me and also good for the guys I work out with.
Now, what are your goals and expectations for yourself and for your team next season?
I think obviously I think anything short of a national championship would probably be a bit disappointing. I think we have the group that the guys that are coming back and also the guys that are going in. We have a group that can win a national championship. I think that's probably the main goal for this season.
Now, have you gotten the chance to meet any of your new teammates yet, or are you going to wait until you head down to Clarkson in a couple weeks?
Some of the teammates that are from Ontario, from Toronto, I've met them and have skated with them or played against them, so I know them. But other guys, only the guys I've probably played against I know. But yeah, hopefully when I go down, we can probably build some friendships and kind of, like I said, hit the ball and kind of have a good year.
Now, let's transition a little bit and talk about the beginning of your hockey career. So, you're from Toronto, Canada. Just talk about how you started playing hockey and falling in love with the sport.
Yeah, I grew up in North York, which is just outside Toronto, but I fell in love with it when I was probably 8, 9 years old. Just learned to skate when I started was kind of just for Saturday mornings, and then as I got to 6, 7, I kind of made the jump to, I guess it was select hockey, which was just the lowest level you can play at that age. But yeah, I was probably about 8 or 9 when I kind of fell in love with it, and yeah, I still love the game. So.
Yeah, and who was your favorite player growing up? Who's someone you try to model your game after when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I really enjoyed watching Sidney Crosby. He was the young player at the time when I was watching, so he was someone that I really enjoyed watching growing up, and obviously still do.
Yeah, and obviously being from Canada, when he scored the gold medal winning goal in the Olympics about 11 years ago, which is crazy to think about now. What was your reaction to that? Because I feel like that's probably for you, him being your favorite player, that must have been a great moment to watch.
Yeah, I think I was 9 or 10 at the time, so I can still kind of remember watching with my family on the couch in the living room. So yeah, that was a really cool goal, and obviously a great kind of thing for the country. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch.
Now, let's start off talking about before you went to the USHL. So you played in the OJHL for the St. Michael's Buzzers. Just talk about your experience in the OJHL and what you took away from it.
Yeah, I love my time at St. Mike's. It was a great fit for me. The guys in the room were unbelievable. I've built a lot of friendships and relationships with those kids and those players that I played with at my time at St. Mike's. I still talk to today. So it was obviously really good to have a good group of guys in the room and help me as a 16-year-old kind of get into the Ontario Junior Hockey League and kind of make that jump from minor midget to junior hockey. So it was really good, and obviously thankful for the guys in the room and the coaching staffs at St. Mike's for those 2 years.
Now, how did you get the opportunity to go to the USHL and play for Omaha?
I actually started the year in the BCHL with Chilliwack. I was there for 3 months. Like I said, I love my time there as well. My billets were unbelievable, and all the players and coaching staffs there were great as well. So it was a lot of fun. But obviously, at the stage I was in this year with the draft and with going into college next year, it was really important for me to play games. And by December, we kind of got shut down and pushed back a couple more months. So with the uncertainty there, with if we were going to play, when we were going to play, I think I was able to go home for Christmas and kind of make that decision when Coach Wilkie of Omaha actually reached out to me.
Now, what was the biggest difference you noticed between the OJHL and the USHL from your experience, like in the style of play?
Yeah, I think the depth obviously is it's a bit deeper of a league, and also the speed. I think it's a bit faster and a bit quicker, but overall, I think the jump there was pretty easy to start off with, just because I was put in a great spot with great teammates, like I said, and great coaching staffs as well. So
Now, how did playing in the USHL help your hockey development heading into the draft this year?
yeah, I think it was really big for my development, to say the least. I think it was one of the most important years that I've played for my entire life. So it was great to play games when a lot of players were unfortunately not playing games. So it was good for my development, but obviously we came up short and we didn't win a championship this year. So it was a bit disappointing at the end, but obviously throughout the year it was a great year, and the guys were great there, and loved my time in Omaha as well.
Now, from what I've heard, Omaha is one of the best cities in the USHL. What was your experience like being in that city, whether it was on or off the ice?
Yeah, I mean the fans are great. Thankful we were actually able to have fans this year. I've never played in front of a crowd that big and that passionate about hockey there. So It was really really eye opening of how much they love the game down there. And being from Canada, you might not see that just because with fans in the Ontario League, they might be a bit less than what you might get in the USHL. But overall, yeah, the place we were living with there was great. The rink was beautiful. Facilities were unreal, and yeah, overall, it was just a great experience for me, and obviously a really happy time in Omaha.
Now, what would you overall take away from your experience in the USHL after finishing your career in Omaha and heading into Clarkson?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, take away all the friendships I've made and all the guys I met along the way. Whether it was in Chilliwack, in St. Mike's, or even my Titans days in minor hockey. But yeah, in Omaha, we had a special group, a tight knit group that were all kind of really close in the locker room and off the ice. So yeah, it was a great year, and obviously a lot of friendships that I made there.
Now, how did the USHL overall help prepare you for college hockey?
I think with this year with COVID, I think it was actually a really difficult kind of league this year in the USHL. I think a lot of college guys came back down, as well as some CHL players from the Western League that were able to come down as well. So the league was really competitive, and obviously when you play against high level players like we did every night, you obviously raise your level of play. And yeah, I think it was, like I said, great for my development, and obviously great for me to kind of play against those top end guys through night in and night out every weekend.
Now, you were also just drafted by the Dallas Stars in the NHL draft. First of all, I want to congratulate you on that. That's a great accomplishment. But what was your draft experience like, and when did you find out you're heading to Dallas?
Yeah, obviously it was a dream come true, but unfortunately we weren't allowed at the rink like past years. So I was just kind of in my living room with some family and friends, just kind of waiting. And like the first time I kind of saw my name on the screen was the first time I knew. So it was obviously a dream come true, but now a lot of work to be done to obviously have the chance to play in the NHL in the future.
Now, what was the process like talking to teams before the draft, and what was it like, especially talking to Dallas when you were with Omaha, and when did you kind of get the sense that they were interested in you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty nerve wracking. You're talking to a lot of personnel staff from NHL teams, and it's obviously your dream to get drafted and dream to further your career in hockey. So obviously it was a bit nerve wracking, but just trying to be yourself and hopefully that those interviews went well, which I thought they did. But yeah, the Dallas interview was great. The coaching staff there and whoever was on the call, the scouts and the GMs and assistant GMs were great. And yeah, I think it was a great call, but obviously those calls are really important for me. But ultimately on draft day, it was when it kind of mattered, and thankfully I was drafted into a great organization, and really excited for what the future holds.
Now, have you gotten the chance to ever go down to Dallas before? And is there going to be a development camp in the future for the Stars? Because I know some teams are holding some.
Yeah, I think college guys this year. I think the development camp for Dallas is in September. So unfortunately, I'll be in school, so I won't be able to attend the camp. But hopefully next year, when things kind of are back to normal fully, the development camps are probably in the summer, and hopefully I can kind of attend to the Dallas camp and kind of show them what I've improved on throughout my college year.
Now, what was your mindset heading into draft night? Because obviously, if you're not one of those top five picks, you really don't know where you're going to end up. So, what was your mindset watching the draft, and how did you try to stay calm throughout that whole process?
Yeah, obviously it's pretty nerve wracking. It's obviously a dream come true for any hockey player to be drafted in the NHL. But yeah, I mean those couple of days were really stressful. I was probably on my phone a bit too much with texting my buddies and trying to keep my mind off the draft just because you don't want to think about it and be stressed out throughout the full day. So I was kind of keeping the mood light and kind of just keeping to myself as well. So obviously thankful to be drafted and yeah, it was a great weekend overall.
Now, for all the Stars fans that are listening to this podcast, what is one thing you would like to say to them about yourself?
Yeah, obviously I think I'm really proud to be drafted by your organization, and hopefully in the future I can play in front of the great fan base they have there in Dallas.
Well, let's transition a little bit, and we're now in a segment I like to call the non-hockey segment, where I just ask you some non-hockey questions just to get to know you a little bit off the ice. My first question to you is, who was the funniest teammate you've ever had at Omaha?
Oh, there's a couple, but probably the main guy was Kyle Benz. Me and him had some good laughs together in the room and on the ice as well. So yeah, I had to say Kyle Benz.
Now, besides yourself, who had the best style on the team at Omaha?
Oh, um, yeah, I do think myself. I think my teammates might attest to that, but I think Garrett Wright had some good style. He had some good suits and good jackets that kind of matched. So yeah, probably Garrett Wright.
Now, if you could have lunch with anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
Uh, I'd probably say Tiger Woods. Just his mentality of the game of golf, which I actually enjoy playing as well. So I think a dinner with him would be pretty cool. And kind of go over his story and go over his successes throughout the years.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I hope he's doing well, especially after the accident that just
Yeah,
happened a few months ago.
yeah.
Now, what is the most interesting thing you've seen or read this week?
This week, I don't know. I haven't really read many books, but I scroll through Twitter a bit. So probably the most interesting was that the Messi deal, actually with in soccer. I thought that was pretty interesting. How much money he makes and off to PSG, or I don't know if it's finalized, but yeah, that's probably the most interesting thing I've read this week.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a very interesting story, especially since, I never thought he would ever leave Barcelona because he's been there since he was like a teenager pretty much.
Yeah,
So it'd be interesting to see how he does with another club, but I think he's
yeah,
the best soccer player in the world, so he'd probably be fine.
I agree. I agree.
Now, what music do you like to listen to just before a game or on a general basis?
General basis, I really enjoy country music. Even before games, country music is kind of what I listen to. Obviously, the guys like to listen to rap in the room, so I never really get aux in the room before games. So I kind of transfer as well to rap music before games. But if I had a choice, it would obviously be country music.
Nice. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve, probably chewing with your mouth open. I don't really enjoy that, but yeah, that's probably the one thing. But
No, I totally agree with you on that. For me, it's bad driving. I think it can be
oh
pretty
yeah.
frustrating when you're just trying to get somewhere and someone is just driving a little too slow or a little too fast, and it just bothers me a little bit.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree.
Now, back to some hockey questions. Now, my first one to you is: what advice would you give a younger player who's trying to pursue a career in Division I college hockey?
Yeah, I think obviously there's a lot of work that you kind of have to put in and sacrifice to be a Division I hockey player. But if you love the game and you're dedicated enough and put in the work, I think you'll be successful as well. So yeah, just sacrifice dedication throughout your years, and obviously you're gonna miss out on some things growing up, but focus on your main goal and work towards that every day.
Now, I just saw that Clarkson released their schedule for the upcoming season. At least it was the conference schedule. So, is there any game you're looking forward to play next year?
Yeah, I think one is RPI. Zach Dubinsky, actually, my line mate in Omaha, is playing for RPI. So I'm really looking forward to playing against him for the first time. But as well as the St. Lawrence games, I have a buddy on St. Lawrence, Tucker McIntosh. So playing against him as well is going to be pretty cool and pretty fun as well. So look forward to those kind of two in particular.
Now, is there any shout outs you'd like to give to any of your family members, teammates, or friends before I let you go?
Yeah, I think one is the guys in Omaha, as well as my teammates in Chilliwack as well. My billets, they were both great in both places, so those would kind of be the two that I can kind of shut out there.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Ayrton. I really appreciate your time. It means a lot to me. I wish you all the best for the upcoming season with Clarkson, and hopefully, I can see you play in person sometime soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, one question.